Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you very much. It is exactly 17 minutes past 2 p.m. East African Standard Time as we are by our watch, which is very, very clear. And it is now the time for Africa Showdown. Welcome to Punchline Africa television broadcasting all the way from Nairobi in the capital city of Kenya. Thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in the world, watching us and seeing what we want to say about Africa. First of all, this afternoon we have lined up several topics in Kenya. This first 45 minutes, we shall spend it on Kenya, and also 1 hour or so on Kenya. Then later on, we come to the topic of the day. I think we talked about it sometime, but it looks like there is something which is persistent across the continent. And I've chosen specific case studies that Miriam will read out when she takes over from after this introduction. With us on the panel today, from Nanyuki, let's begin from very far. Thank you very much, Mr. Javan Karanja. Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead.
And the rest of the panelists.
Okay, how is Nanyuki?
Nanyuki is a bit hot today.
Yes.
The weather is moderate. Yeah, it's a bit.
It looks like you have organized your audio today. You look very confident with your audio. Thank you very much. And in Nanyuki, the legacy trade correspondent in Nanyuki and in the central Mount Kenya, the rest of Nyandarua, like Kipia, Nanyuki, all those places up there, up to Nyeri. Thank you very much. You'll give us your updates shortly. Coming back with our resident judge, chaplain, officer, conflict resolution boss, the man himself, the man who says it as it is. We said, if you chokoza police, they also come for you. So Sudi was saying they can come, but he was hiding somewhere. And where he was hiding, we shall discuss at length. And the contacts that he was trying to make, finally, I think people refused, and the police zeroed on him, and they were going to arrest him in a very bad way. So he decided to walk into the station this morning. But where was he hidden? In a strong house somewhere around Tarubo. But thank you very much, Professor Jared Onyari, the man himself. The reggae is back. What? The reggae is back. What? Oh. And then Gates, that's why I brought that topic, the political matrix of 2022 politics in Kenya. I think you are going to be one of those telling us what type of matrix you have. And thank you very much, viewers. That is Dr. David Matsanga. Back in the studio is Miriam Ogutu from the Political Command Center. Thank you very much. The topic is now in the headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. We are miles away.
We're done with that slightly after 3 p.m. We shall turn our attention to other cases in Africa. Under the topic is political violence triggered by elections or long stay in office across Africa. And the case studies there is Ivory Coast. We know what is happening there in Ivory Coast. Also Somalia, Tanzania, as well as Mozambique. Very interesting, choice of countries there, Doctor, that you have today, because we have a lot to look at today. But before we get to that, let's just bring us up to date with the latest in terms of COVID-19 and where we stand this afternoon. And Kenya has confirmed a total of 35,969 cases. The death toll in the country is 619. and recoveries is 22,771, and Uganda, the cases is at 4,703. 52 people have died. Recoveries is 1,998, and in South Africa, confirmed cases 648,214, and the death toll is 15,427. Recoveries is 576,434. And in Somalia, 3,376 cases. Death toll is 98. Recoveries is 1,598. And Rwanda as well, the cases there is at 4,565. 22 people have died in Rwanda, and recoveries is 2,544. And let's just look at the total cases in Africa this afternoon. It stands at 1,322,542 cases. Recoveries is 1,059,665, and the number of deaths that has been recorded in the continent is 31,909. So that is just where we stand in regards to COVID-19 this afternoon here in the continent. So Kenya, we seem to be doing very well, but a place like Uganda, there also the cases are slowly increasing, and now the number of confirmed cases have surpassed even that of the number of recoveries there. But on Friday, we learned that the government of Uganda had already prepared a stadium somewhere, so just in case the numbers go up, the government there, the country is prepared in case of a further spike of the cases there. But Doctor, that is where we stand this afternoon.
Miriam, first of all, the situation in Uganda worries me. It is linked to the topic of the Africa. President Museveni had done so well to the point that he had managed to contain the disease. Then all of a sudden last week, they decided to go for grassroots elections. And in the grassroots elections, they did not observe any COVID-19 regulations. People did not wear masks. Miriam, it was terrible. People did not wear any masks. The situation became unmanageable. No wearing of masks, no social distance. People stood on queues for over 10 hours, 5 hours, breathing air near each other. So the reproduction rate is worrying me. The Kenya curve is being controlled very nicely, and I want to thank God for the Ministry of Health, Anna Mutahi Kagwe, despite the insincerity of some section of lunatics that have gone around to become the lunatic train that Winston Churchill said, and the one that you find between America, eastern coast to western coast. They are behaving like the lunatic train. You don't know where it is going, but it is going. It keeps on hammering, but you don't reach. There are 3 lunatic trains in the world. I don't know whether you know them. Let me give you free information. The one in America, second one in Kenya, and the third one in India. So mark that one today. There's one in India where you hammer crossing from one end to the other, but you don't reach until you reach. So thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are. Thank you very much. I am telling you, the Uganda situation and the Kenyan situation worried me. The Uganda situation worried me. Kenyan one is not worrying me because we are now recording some figures which are, we are carving. There is a curve. So let's wait until we are really carved, and then we come back to talk. Thank you very much. Over to you, Miriam.
All right, very well, Professor. Very good afternoon to you there. Of course, Kenya, we seem to have arrived at our peak, and now we are curving down slowly there, and hopefully soon we shall be able to see a flattening of the curve. Uganda, there, as Doctor has said, had done very well, and even now the figures are not as high, so it's still manageable. And of course, the President Museveni might be forced to revert back to some of those measures, stringent measures that he had put in place at the beginning of this pandemic, but still it's not completely out of hand, so it's really not too late there for Uganda. Perhaps they could learn from the mistakes that we did here in a country and as a people that, has made us see record a high number like that. But still for Uganda, it's manageable, even the figures there as they continue to rise slowly. But is it manageable?
Thank you, Miriam, for that good question. I have said before, and I'm reiterating that COVID-19 is here with us. What the government of Kenya has done what is humanly possible to ensure that we have confronted this pandemic. And now where Kenyans have been left, they are on their own. They are on the sense that the government has given you the protocols. It is not just like when COVID just came in. We don't know how it looks like. So what we need to do for us to be where we ought to be, we have to follow all the protocols given by the Minister of Health and World Health Organization. If we follow those simple rules, Miriam, all will be well with us. You have agreed with me, you can agree with me what's taking place in Uganda. It is simply because people did not want to adhere to regulations given by the government or World Health Organization. We did say here in this kind of this time for COVID-19, that the countries which are due for elections should reconsider. Now you can see what has happened. They will close it. They will close it down, but you see that the damage has already been done. And even here in Kenya, I have seen some bad manners from the political class, just rushing for having meetings. We will have time for the meetings. Let us, for heaven's sake, team up and confront this pandemic. Mutai Kawa, the CS, normally say that, Miriam, you can have it, I can have it. So what we need to do is for me to protect you. So when you go outside there, you don't wear the mask and someone else is wearing. So you put this person in front of the road. Let us be our brothers and sisters keeping. And for sure, Miriam, this is something which came just like that. It was just one simple case from Wuhan in China, and it has spread over the world. And it is going to be with us, Miriam, for some time. So what will only make us safe is for us to follow the protocol as given by the government, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. Right, thank you so much, Javan. Before we leave this matter of COVID-19 and we move on to other topics, I'm sure Kenyans right now, think that because the figures have gone down there, they can just walk around being careless, especially the younger people there. You just look at them walking in the streets, in the supermarkets, just around public, service vehicles. They seems to have relaxed. They think because the figures have gone down, they can do whatever they want, but that is not the case.
Yeah, thank you very much. The show is good. Let me say this. COVID-19, as a professor have said, is here to stay. Therefore, we must follow what the government is saying. The young people, you have talked of the young people. They should stop being reckless and they should follow and observe the rules that the government has set in place. As Dr. was saying, in Uganda, the number must start rising because, when we don't take that personal responsibility and avoid social gathering, this number spikes. You don't know who is next to you. Therefore, we should at least be obedient enough and observe these rules so that for our own good. Because if we fail to do this, the country might revert back to where we were on March. And the situation was very deteriorating. We know how the economy and how people suffered. We saw even the members of parliament taking food stuff to people who are starving. We don't want to go that route anymore. Therefore, where we are as a country, we should aim higher and we should at least focus in ensuring that we don't loosen those regulations so that our country will grow, our country will develop, and our economic setbacks that we have experienced will be resolved. So that if we want to resolve to BBI meeting, we can do it when we are sure that our health is fine, is catered for, because our health is number one priority. And we know the big four of President Uhuru Kenyatta. One is healthcare. We cannot afford to go back there, because if the numbers increases, the healthcare agenda will be strained. Therefore, let's obey and follow the government regulations, and the situation will be better off.
All right, thank you so much, Jevan Karanja there from Nanyuki, all the way there. Doctor, we have a lot to talk about when you look at the Sunday Standard on the front pages there. Before you just get to the politics of the stomach, which is the main headline there, up there, Musalia Mudavadi to Uhuru or Raila camp, back to the fold. ANC party leader now says he will work with to boss Francis Atwoli, accused support of the handshake between Uhuru and Raila. I don't know, Musalia Mudavadi, I'm a bit confused of his stand exactly. So he seems to be back to the fold. Doctor,
don't be confused. Miriam, why would you be confused?
Yeah, he's just all over the place.
No, I told you he has nowhere to go. You remember that about 3 months ago, I said the matrix. The matrix. Let me tell you, there are people who are telling lies. And today, Professor, I just want to thank you that you joined me to say what we are supposed to say. And I want to tell the truth. I teach political science of Africa and the Great Lakes region. The truth is that it's very difficult for 2022 for people to choose a president from the two tribes. I mean, the Tanga group can insult me even more. I'm ready. After all, those insults will not impregnate me. I will go on as I am. But it's very difficult. The 2022 of Kenya matrix will want somebody from outside the two tribes as a president. The rest you Kenyans can sort out. So if you have ears here, spend your money, but leave some for your children. So Musalia Mudavadi, a crafty, a politician, a very organized man, a man who's also labeled and harassed as part of the dynasty. Remember his father, he won his landslide at the age of 27. He won a seat. Actually, less than that, I think 23 or so, when they called him out of the university to win a seat after the death of the father Musalia Mudavadi. Mr. Mudavadi, a very prominent friend of President Uhuru, Arap Moi. When he died, the son was called from the university to finish his first degree or in economics and planning. He was afforded. So you cannot claim to be a hustler. Just as Deputy President Ruto cannot claim to be a hustler. He has also worked with, he has eaten money from these dynasties. So let him look for another definition, because there is no other place that you can change. Don't change the tactics for the sake of ruling Kenya. Tell the truth. I got my first car from so and so. He helped me. He bought me a car. I made money. I stole some money here and I laid it here. Everybody, you know, we can finish this problem on earth before we go to God has a lot of difficulties, a lot of work to do worldwide. He's not going to wait for you to hide some things. Finish them here on earth. Niliiba pesa ngine hapa na hapa. People will even give you votes. But there is one thing that I want to say, and I will not, without forgetting it. 2,000 years ago, Pontius Pilate asked the crowd that sat and said that had brought Jesus. He said, you the Jews, you the Pharisees, you the scribes, you the tax collectors, today the citizens of Rome, of our name, which is the Galilee, of all Judea. I ask you this question. There are 3 people here. Some had stolen some chicken down the streets of Bethlehem and Jerusalem. Some have broken other things into shops, stolen. There was no money that time, but jewelry and silver coins. And Pontius Pilate asked these guys and said, "Hello, nyenye, watu ya Kenya, nani munapenda?"
We see.
Today is Sunday, let me preach a bit. Iko watu watatu, waizi wawili na mtu mmoja bado iba. And first of all, for me, I've found by then Pontius Pilate found nothing against Jesus.
Yes. Man.
He sent Jesus ahead because Herod had come to visit Jerusalem. He said, since Herod is higher than me and he's around the town, send this man ahead there. Let him. I am a mere governor of Judea, but there is a person who is in charge of the Roman Empire, who has arrived as a visitor in one of the inns of Jerusalem. When Herod saw Jesus, he said, he cannot. Are you the one they say you're a king? Jesus said, it is you who says, not me. But Herod, people have not seen up to date. Theologians, maybe professors studied theology, will explain to me why Herod got his only best golden cloth and honored Jesus and sent him back to
Paradise.
To Pilate. Pontius Pilate, because Herod also found there is nothing that is fixing this man.
Yeah.
So when we came back, Pontius Pilate asks the people, I took this man up there, I washed my hands. Now, the answer is from you, the crowd. He said, among the 3 people, there is a 5th called Barabbas. Whom do you want between Jesus and Barabbas? The crowd answered back, we want Barabbas. So does it sound to you a Kenyan today and an African in African continent, wherever you are, whether Zimbabwe, whether Sudan, you are still electing a thief? You are elected 2,000 years ago. The human race chose a thief. Now, today in Kenya, we are still trying to choose thieves. And we even glorify them. Prof, the worst part is glorification of thieves. The worst part is benchmarking your life on Oscar Sudi, a matatu tout of Roda Malava border where he was going yesterday. Serious intelligence reports emanated from Eldoret because Sudi had decided this thing is going to be worse. He has been found with 3 presidential unit escorts in his house with guns that have been documented, which is now in the papers. What are you going to say? What were you doing with these people? What were you planning? They are not on leave. They had no permission from where they were. Were they planning to kill people? So that question came in the mind, should the man cross over and go to exile? You know, there are so many things. And Uganda was touted as a route until the master came and said, no, you don't worry, you go. But between these days, where was Sudi hiding? Those are the questions people should ask. Whose house was it? Because that person is also an accomplice. Mm. What were these soldiers doing? So today, as we see Mudavadi flicking back, Mudavadi has seen a cul-de-sac where he is. Ukuta. If he doesn't come back and work with Kotu, the elders there have talked already. Can you imagine that Malala is the man who is in the worst position? You are insulting Kotu Secretary General. And Raila, Mr. Malala, your boss, who is the chairman of ANC, is moving towards Kotu. You find yourself in a quagmire state. That's why I said the matrix, the 2022 matrix, political matrix are going to be very interesting. So Miriam, we have covered even that question of hiding in plain sight. He was somewhere in Itaru. Everybody knows. People on the ground. There are people who were questioning me when I asked, you think we don't have people in Eldoret? I have over 7 correspondents of the legacy trend in Eldoret, including girls, very beautiful ones. They are correspondents. They are not my girlfriends. So they can tell me even what is going on there. Some are working in senior offices. We know what was going on. In Eldoret, in Eldoret, Nakuru, we knew you cannot get any. We have correspondents. Our people in Nakuru are many. So the question of you doubting me when I'm telling you it was going that direction, what will you? They were planning, they wanted to go. The man is, this is a serious case. It is not only the NIS, a national coalition looking for him now. What was he doing with these men of the presidential guard? What were the men doing there? What were they planning? Because the way, the confidence, it brings me to what I told Miriam the other day, that the type of confidence that is exhibited by the Kapsaret MP, he has plan B. Any security intelligence officer will tell you there is something that they are confident of, that even the police will not stop them. And that is what now is in the hands of the custody of the police. He will stay in Nakuru in custody. There is no bail because his friend was not bailed, he will be bailed by the court. I thank God that lessons can be learned. Thank you.
All right, and Doctor, that story is quite, it's not perhaps as we look at it in the service the way you're explaining there. I think there's more to it. Of course, that story is on page 3 of the Sunday Standard here. And just a bit of it before Professor comes in, the police report further indicates that at least 3 officers, later confirmed to be working with the Presidential Escort Unit, were found inside the compound of MP Sudi. Now, 2 Presidential Escort Unit officers are said to have engaged their colleagues in a scuffle before they were apprehended. So they tried fighting the police and the officers that had been sent in to Sudi's home. Those arrested are expected to court tomorrow to face various charges. Police are aware of the plans, said. So what is interesting now is, as source said, he had been traced to a house in Nairobi, but police were restrained from proceeding there because they would cause embarrassment to the owner. We know where he is hiding and were avoiding embarrassment to the owner. It is a shame he's hiding there, yet he has been daring police to go and arrest him. So apparently he is somewhere in Karen. That is what the Sunday Standard here says. And then somewhere down there, it's very interesting there. But yeah, he apparently sneaked out using a lorry. Yeah, that is what I wanted to get there. So after he sneaked from his home, he was driven to board a lorry that ferried him to Karen in Nairobi. Those close to him said he plans to surrender either today or tomorrow for processing and possible arraignment. So he boarded a lorry.
I think Nairobi. There is one thing that the Sunday Standard
is missing.
Got wrong.
Yes.
The house. There are 2 houses. They got one house wrong. That's the thing they got wrong, but the story is correct.
Yeah, but so he sneaked out in a lorry to Nairobi.
He did not live now Eldoret, but he was in a stronghold house. And I have already written it on my page. Professor can tell you.
So that's
the Standard, all the facts are very correct, but they only got something wrong.
The house,
it was not carried.
Where they said that police said if they would have proceeded to get him from that house, it would cause embarrassment to the owner. They're putting embarrassment in quotes. Okay.
It is not that house. Standard, the next time check with the guy here with the eyes. On anything touching there, I would have told you.
And also
because the truth is that the story here, Miriam, because we are analyzing the newspaper,
yes,
is correct as it is. They were those officers, but the house was not carried. The house was another stronghold house, but not in Nairobi. So you guess your conclusion and my conclusion. Professor can finish.
Doctor, I'm still puzzled. But what also puzzled me is during...
What is the puzzle here? The puzzle, let me talk slowly, maybe.
No, I understand.
The whole house, the whole story narrated by Standard is correct.
Except for the house. Yeah.
Except saying he got on a lorry.
To come to Karen, so that is not true.
He did not. This man was thinking. He stayed in Eldoret, planning to exit into Uganda. You like it, you don't like it, it's up to you. So what will you do? I've given you information. Because some people who are waiting for him from across Uganda, you see there's nothing in Uganda intelligence that you can do, which I don't know. I have been a rebel also around that territory. Don't think that I don't have people there who can tell me what is going to happen. Boss, wachana hiyo mambo. Anything around that border, I will know. I will be the first one to know. Yes, so if you are planning it around there, plan it somewhere else. Because I will know. In fact, it will come to me like this. Yes. And the man never left Eldoret. No. the standard got it wrong. There was no roller used. It was another car and several cars planning overnight to go and drive. But the security was alerted and they closed the border in seriously. And they finally managed to zero on a house, a stronghold, and they left. So the standard person did not want to tell you. Newspaper, we journalists have a very disturbing circumstances. He left it there. Aliwacha hapo.
Yes.
Alituachia hapo. In fact, he lost us there, but the whole story is correct. But the house of Karen is not.
All right. And something also there, I think, disturbing that happened. One of police officers there was hacked by a machete because the local residents there had come to block the, police officers from accessing Sudi's home there. So one of the officers was, one of his arms was hacked. I hope he's fine. So what are the dangers of some of these things that we see? As a Kenyan, as I said on Friday, it's worrying, and I am worried. If this trend continues, this is very serious, Professor.
Yeah, it's true. It's very serious. It's true. It's very unfortunate that the ordinary citizens, wananchi, should come to shield someone who has broken the law. He was daring the police to say, come on, baby. Why was he disappearing? And the politicians should be told that when they are having a microphone and having the crowds chatting like pouring porridge, they should be very careful, Miriam. So, Miriam, surely, have we stood that law that a police officer who can be your brother, who can be my brother, my uncle, my cousin, someone, his father, that when in the course of his duty, Miriam, that you take a machete to cut a police officer? Miriam, that is worrying. No matter what, Miriam, you must subject yourself to the rule of law. He has surrendered. I've seen in the social media, he has surrendered. He's not going to be killed. He has rubbed the wrong side of the law. Go and present and write a statement and say your innocence the way you have been telling people. Those people will not be there. And the one, Miriam, the late Michuki said, if you rat a snake, the snake will rat on you.
Be prepared to be bitten. I remember very well.
It will hit back. So it's very unfortunate, Miriam, when we hear that you can be taken into a house of someone. And the time has come, Miriam, to bite the bullet. If someone is not ready to work in government, ship out. Go and start preparing for your 2024. This country will need peace.
2024.
2022. So what you need to do, Miriam, this is very unfortunate and cannot be allowed. In fact, he has added more charges to himself. He has even put some of the police officers who are not supposed to be there to be working there. So, Miriam, when you look at the whole scenario, it is something very unfortunate in our country. And if they want to listen, let them take time to listen to what Dr. Masanga is telling them. People are slowly preparing themselves to ICC. And I wonder who is going to help them. This time we will say, as crooked as ICC may be, let the people be hammered and spend some time there. That's when they can come back to their senses. That's what I have to say, that one, Miriam, but this is our country. And if those who were elected under the ticket of Jubilee, and you find out that you cannot work, do what the Honorable Jaramogi Oginga did with his ministers in 1960s. When they found themselves they cannot work out in government, they resigned. So that we have people who are capable of going ahead with the President Reggea. The president has got 2 years. He's not interested in men behind. They promised Kenyans we are going to do ABCD, And the president is committed towards doing that. So the likes of Honorable Sudi and others, you are in government. And let me tell you, Miriam, I don't know where we'll get some time to teach some of these members of parliament. He's an elected member of parliament, and he has got a privilege to make a statement in the National Assembly, whatever he's not happy with. He's privileged. He can say anything in the assembly. Why do you just go to inside ordinary wananchi there, giving them falsehood? There is nobody who has chased anybody from office. Nobody has undermined anybody else. It is simply, Miriam, someone has absconded duty. And I wish that the government, the Constitution of Kenya, if we have an opportunity, what do we do if someone absconds duty?
Jevon Karanja, what do we do if somebody absconds duty? The professor is asking.
Yeah, thank you very much. As a professor is saying, these people should, a member of parliament is a honorable member, is a person who is supposed to be a man of reputation. Therefore, when a member of parliament thinks that you have all the monopoly to insult others and to bring health, that should not be the case. I think these members who are misbehaving, those who think insult is the best way to get into power, they should be dealt with, and they should serve as an example to others who want to follow that route. And on something else, if Oscar Sudi, the first time he came in defense of Johanna Ngeno, the MP for Emruadikir, he came on his defense, and he uttered some words that were not good. In the next day, he tried to confirm that he was innocent, that he didn't abuse anyone's mother. Then, if he was sure that he was innocent, and the police were just went for him for mischievous reasons, he should not have run away. He should have waited. He should have surrendered himself to the police in the first day. In that night, when police were having that chaotic experience with those young people in Kapsaret, he should have surrendered himself peacefully. But this habit of inciting young people to go and attack the police, law officers must be respected. Therefore, he is teaching these young guys, and that is a way of radicalizing these guys, so that in near future they will not have respect to security officers. That is a very bad thing. Number two, on what Professor Jared is saying, if someone is tired in his own government, a government that you are elected to serve, and you're feeling that it pinches you so much, the best way to do is to do what Jaramogi did in 1966. You resign, you go and fight from outside. You can't fight your own government when you are inside. Number two thing that they should do is, they should not have that mentality that the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is a core principal to the President. He is the Deputy President, a principal assistant to the President. That's the mentality that they have, that the Deputy President, they share presidency with the President Uhuru. That mentality, they should stop and learn that he is a Deputy President. He's just like the Vice President. He was appointed by President in the Jubilee Delegation Conference as his running mate. Therefore, he is an appointee of the President, and the majority of Kenyans confirmed that decision of the President when they were elected to serve. Therefore, he is supposed to he should subject himself as a servant of the people, and his boss is the President. They should not think that he is a co-president. No, he is just like any other vice president who have been in this country. Number three, they should not think that this country, that William Ruto is the one who formed Jubilee government. In fact, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his mountain region, they had the majority vote. William Ruto came with his numbers to top up so that to get the 50+1 threshold. Therefore, they should not think that they are the one who formed the Jubilee government and they are the one who should take the highest cake or the highest part of the bigger share of it. They should relax and wait for their time to come, and the election will be a competitive one. The best candidate will win. The person who will meet the constitutional requirement will be declared the winner. Therefore, this thing of inciting, we know how it started in 2007. We should not go through that path again. It's a pain path, and we should not even imagine of going there again. And they should get that presidency is not an entitlement to anyone. It's an entitlement of all Kenyans. It's not a birthright to a certain individual. Everybody who qualifies and meets the qualification in the constitution can vie for this seat. Therefore, they should be aware that anybody, any Kenyans of goodwill who meet this qualification will vie. They should not be afraid when they see other people rising. They should relax and they make on their candidate so that you'll be able to face the other candidate. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karanja. There, Dr. Karanja has raised very pertinent, issues there and questions. He's saying that perhaps our Deputy President William Ruto, for a long time, he thought he was a co-president, and Karanja there is saying, according to the Kenyan Constitution, no, you are, an assistant to the president. So perhaps our deputy might have thought he's a co-president, and so when President Uhuru Kenyatta decided to take on, his full responsibilities there, perhaps our deputy did not like it very much. And also this attitude of entitlement that Karanja has raised there, and the violence that now we're seeing. Is it too late to stop it? And what can bodies like NCIC do at this point before things get completely out of hand? Because as it is right now, we're already taking a very dangerous path there.
Miriam, the situation was made worse by people thinking there were two power centers. What Karanja has just said is 100%. I haven't talked to him. He has researched by himself. Thank you very much, Karanja, for the analysis. I think you do a good job. Let's look at this. These guys had a notion that when they were the first cabinet to test the Constitution of Republic of Kenya to have 21 cabinet ministers was 2013. When Uhuru came to power, after the ICC debacle, they united. So there was this notion of 50-50%. Now they carried that, while in 2013, 50-50, there were still cases of ICC. Both the president and the deputy. The president mainly, because some of us who were around these cases know the president concentrated on his case. It got finished, then he came back to work. By the time he came back to work, he found everything was eaten. Had been eaten, everything. Everything had been eaten. You could not go to State House. Some people who were even officers in State House, the deputy president directed they should not be there. They should be sent out. These are things we have not talked in the public. There were people who are removed. There are people that the guy does not like to see, including the man speaking, me myself. I'm not supposed to be seen. If he becomes a president tomorrow, I don't know where I will run, but I will go back home. I have my house and I will stay. Okay? I've survived a lot of those threats. So I wouldn't like to finish my life here. So in the first cabinet, first year, all the manifesto was carried over to second term. From 2017, tomorrow I will outline behind all these scenes. Uhuru has made some credible, good things, which people, Kenyans, have not seen. And I want to plead with the Kenyans to sit down and see if we had a lazy president, the roads that we are enjoying now, where we smoothen our cars, and it is between you and God. When the car is running, it is between you and God. You are challenging God that I'm coming. Ask Moses, ask anybody, those people who drive on these good roads between Ivory and Mombasa now. It is like food you are eating, not knowing that God is even also. It is like a glass, not knowing that God is also enticing you. It is because of Uhuru Kenyatta. If he ate that money, then you will not have a good road to Mombasa. You will not have SGL to have arrived in Naivasha to Suswa. And you will not have the railway being repaired. The northern line, the northeastern line going to Nanyuki. Doesn't it pass your area?
Yeah.
Yes. Is this a president who has not performed?
It's president who has performed. And
yes, the roads, inner roads, feeder roads. But he cannot be there to stop corruption. The corruption in this country is in the constitution. I've discovered where corruption is. Don't even talk about Kemusa. The corruption is in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, which encourages you to steal. I want to reason with anybody. The laws that the Kemusa managing director used to go and steal money in the treasury is not in Uhuru's pocket. The law allows the managing director to request money direct also, and at the same time it also restricted, says talk to the minister, and then section B, you can as well also go around. The biggest corruption in Kenya, and mark my statement, I don't know where my people of social media are, mark my big statement today. The biggest corruption in Kenya is found in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. It has given people lifeline to eat.
Loopholes. The loopholes, and they take advantage.
Yes. The first section A says, consult the minister. Section B says, the managing director himself can go and look for the money. Is that not corruption? So you cannot blame Uhuru Kenyatta for a bad constitution that we made. When he tried to straighten these things, Uhuru Kenyatta was told, they took him, when he, surely, let's look at one thing. Even today we can postpone the whole Africa. Look here. Look at this situation, Professor. Uhuru Kenyatta is given a list of judges who are thieves, who still want Jesus to come and say, I am not a thief, to Tanzania's first, whom we glorify. The JSC interviews the judges, knows their background. Senior, it sends the judges with questionable character to the president. Now tell me where the president went wrong. Is the constitution that is corrupt? The Kenyan constitution is corrupt, is a tool of corruption. That's why you need a BBI today to change that constitution. You need a BBI. You take a list to the president, and the president tells the director of intelligence and the other agencies of EACC to check on each and everybody of these judges. They find that some judge raped their friends in court, Wanafunga office, which is government office, lock it, and then they start having sex in the court. Miriam, you read on the paper. Wanagongania kwa office. The government chairs are used for sex. In Kenya court. So you want the president to appoint such a person who hammers women on government desk? Well-known man. There are two of them well-known for hammering their fellow judges. You want Uhuru to appoint? Well, if there's nobody speaking for Uhuru. Some of us, even if we are not here, even if we are in London, we shall speak. In fact, we shall create an international television to speak for Uhuru. Wacha niwaambie leo, wenye watu wanatishatisha mtu. Oh, London world out. My friend, I am an international operator. Munishike pole pole. Muna blame Uhuru kwa nini? You are a judge and you are having sex in the office with another fellow judge. You want Uhuru to appoint you? No, you tell me. You have been selling drugs with Akasha. Your name is on the list to go to America. Uhuru is only delaying you are going to America because we don't want all Kenyan citizens to end up in America, Professor. Umeona hiyo? So where do you blame Uhuru? Blame the Constitution. If the Constitution of Kenya is changed, that the president has a say, corruption, there would be no standoff between the president and the judiciary.
Correct.
The president cannot appoint a judge who hammers fellow judges on our desks. Those desks are kukata cases, not to have sex in an office. You people in Kenya, why don't you speak up your mind, man? There's a very bit, a pet, who you pet, sex pet, in the judiciary, like 3 of them. And it is not us who made the report, it's the Chief Justice. Didn't you see the Chief Justice crying that there is a lot of corruption in this place? And the sex was one of the most corrupting tools. It's not Matanga. So do you blame Uhuru Kenyatta? Mniambie Uhuru Kenyatta should come and tell you don't put your trouser down in an office. Another judge, the man who was office messenger, a receptionist who bought 8 houses, bought a Range Rover, a white Range Rover, for a judge from your place in Nyamira. That woman, you know her. She used to drive a Dix, a small car. When that man stole the money from NSSF, they bought a Range Rover. We went there and took photographs of the new Range Rover in Mulimani in the car park. When we put the photograph on a newspaper, Maraga did not take action. Later on, he admitted. Then transferred the woman. You see where she has been transferred? Kajiado. Walikuwa na kulana na huyu mjamaa wa NSF. Sasa mnataka huyo judge huyo akuje kwa appeal. Atafanya namna gani? Sio that boy will make an appeal and enter in appeal and he goes with our money. Have you ever heard of that case again? Have you ever heard of that case?
No.
There was a judge who was sleeping with a criminal here. You want that one to be promoted to appeal chamber? They killed the Muzungu and put in a tanker here. A tank. Please, you have never seen trouble. You play. You play with your country. You have never seen trouble. How do you appoint a judge who coaches a murderer? A woman who conspired to kill a Mzungu and put in a battery, in a tank, because the woman has got good legs. Can you appoint such a judge to become a team? Now you are blaming. No, I'm bringing these examples now so that you know the truth. Why Uhuru cannot appoint those judges. And if I were Uhuru, I'll lie among over my dead body. And thank you very much, Mr. President, for sticking to your point until this Toro Maraga of yours, you from Nyamira, he goes home. Aende nyumbani, sawa, mambo itakuwa mzuri. Kenya is gonna be all right. Nyinyi wa Kenya, you have not received anybody. You have never got any problems. That's why. Some of us here are humbled men. Some of us are humbled. Some of us have been tried to be poisoned. We have been tried to be poisoned. Even you come, you think the person has come to see you, she has carried poison to kill you because of politics. Because you are talking only on this radio, on the TV, and the CNN, and the BBC. The difference between other countries and Uganda is President Museveni fears people who talk like me. But he doesn't fear a man who goes to the bush.
It's true.
He came to London and told me in a conference of 10,000 people, direct, 10,000 Bazungu, and all the Bazungu walked out of the conference, but he did not say, I apologize. When we returned after break, even now, retaliated and even went further to say, for you, if you are in Uganda, we shall kill you. And the Bazungu said, let this meeting end. After you have fled 10,000 miles away from the man, he wants you down in a place where you have fled to. So, when your country is very good like this, please enjoy it. Don't blame the president all the time. How can Uhuru appoint corrupt judges, sex pets, wanarusha suruali hapo na vitetei hapo kila saa? Thank you, Miriam. And they are there, and they are on the list. Is the President Uhuru Kenyatta does not have eyes to see. You want him to appoint that, Miriam, if that judge, if that boy, the office messenger, is sentenced, and you have appointed the judge whom he bought a Range Rover and a house, and he's on appeal, what does that judge do? Shall we get that money? Have you ever heard of that case again? Have you ever heard of the case again? We had a case of a child, a woman. You said there are human rights. Where are human rights? Maraga had a child with a woman who went to the court with a child who resembles Maraga. Wewe nani mzee wewe from Nyamira, you wake up. The woman was harassed, even was beaten, was molested, and she was not telling a lie. They even removed the case from, you didn't you see that? Is that a court? Look at the court. The court, one of the judges on Supreme Court, took my money on work envelope, took my money, and he's there. Is that the court? Then Uhuru should promote this one again to go there. So it becomes a club of eating. Where will justice come from? Sir. Sorry. Mekwama hapo, tumalize, to cross over, I think, if my friends summarize. Lakini mimi, I support Uhuru up to the end. Whether I'm in Kenya or abroad or wherever I will be, I will stand by Uhuru. I will never want any Kenyan to be hurt. In my village, in my country, I have 27 families. 27 families in my county, my clan, my shopping center, who came out from Eldoret. So some stupid people here say I should not talk about Kenya. I have 27 Kenyans whom we have given land. They are there. They have refused to come back. They said, no, we live there. They are there. You can go. You can find them. I sent M-Pesa to them. The names are not Matanga. So you don't want me to talk about Kenya? Some stupid boys who are used to uprooting people from their homes. This is stupid. You are stupid. Another one called Sanga today. That Sanga wrote something very wrong about me. Sang, my friend, I controlled myself, but I'm going to do a 1-hour program on you. You return to the ICC. Wewe usicheze na mimi. You don't know. That's the same language that took you to the ICC. Sanga usikia leo. You wrote something on the Facebook. That's the same thing that took you to the ICC. Who are you to insult me that in Niko Mujinga? Where did you educate me? Did you go to a school where I went? Do you even know how to spell English? Hiyo matusi ndio likuchukua kwa ICC wewe sana. Wacha nikuambie leo. Tena kama unaanza namna hivyo. Utaanza namna hivyo. Whoa, you have touched the wrong button, Sang. Arab Sang, lazima ufanye msamaha. Utuombe msamaha kwangu. Hiyo nakwambia leo wazi. Wewe, you can't insult me. I kept quiet. And I have screenshot what you wrote. Boss, you are conditionally discharged and you are forgotten. Sanga, you are conditionally discharged. And don't joke with Matsango on international law, Sanga. Arab Sanga na kuambia leo. Paka uombe msamaha mbele ya watu. I sold my car to go and stand for you. Then you call me Mujinga, foolish, stupid. You called me those names. Didn't you see it, Karanja? It is there on my Facebook. That one there. Alichukuliwa kwa hiyo mambo. Everybody heard what he said here. But some of us went and said to stand for him. He's busy in the police stations encouraging people to fight again. Well, Sanga, don't go there. On international roads, paka uombe msamaha kwangu. You have said, I am Niko Mujinga kweli? Oh, wewe. You were released conditionally. Have you seen your release? Did you see your release? You saw what the judges wrote on your release. Wewe. You can insult those ones, but not me. You can't insult me when I sold my car to go and stand for you. Unasema mimi ni mjinga, niliandika wewe, did I insult you? I did not insult you, son. Why did you insult me for? You were taken to ICC because You incited the people. And everybody had. But because we stood, we hate ICC. Then now again you are insulting people. Unaandika kwa Facebook kama mjinga. Wewe Mr. Sang. I've done a screenshot. I've screenshot that it is there. Wewe play with these stupid other people, not this one. This one. Wacha wewe. You were conditionally released. You don't know what the judges wrote. Go and read again. Where? Mnishike mzuri. I respect the president, but watu, you cannot insult me, mjinga. Where did you, boss, did you educate me? Niko mjinga kweli. What did I say? I'm a journalist like you. I'm a journalist like you. I got information, and my information is not different from the information which is on standard newspaper. And I also made a comment. Then Sanga came to us. Karanja, you can read it for people. He insulted me. I'm foolish, stupid, mujinga. That's what those are the words he used, isn't it? They are there on the Facebook. Until you unaomba public msamaha wewe. Now walk on a tightrope one. I'll make an affidavit. Where? Don't play with Matanga on that. Where you go on inciting people again in the Rift Valley. Your crime was insulting people. We only kept quiet, son. But wewe kuenda sasa unaanza to insulting me who sold my car to go and fight for you. Did you sell your car to give me when you have come back? I don't use anything else. I am Miriam had forgotten that. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Sorry, Professor.
Good. It's good sometimes for people to be told the truth for their short memory.
So, Professor, this attitude, there's something there Karanja mentioned earlier, the attitude of entitlement that we see in a few of our leaders, and sometimes, while they want to advance their political gains there and ambitions, they want to do it by all means necessary, even if it means sacrificing at the expense of the lives of Kenyans. What are the dangers of this kind of politics that we see now at play in this country?
You know, Miriam, we came from the post-election violence of 2007, 2008. In fact, my country and your country was going to be a banana republic country. We were heading towards a fair state. But thank God that he's so much gracious to us. President Kibaki was humble enough. The Prime Minister was humble enough. They said the country is bigger than all of us. So we came up with a code. We said, what do we do? Kibaki be the president and Raila Odinga be a prime minister, and they were co-principals. So the mentality, which Dr. Masanga has eloquently explained, people thought that in 2013, that Uhuru Kenyatta and the President William Ruto, they were co-principals. They were not. The president had the case in Hague. He concentrated in his case. And he said, guys, since we are there, we have got a government run, but you know what happened? So people have been having a mentality to think, especially the supporters of the deputy president, that is a co-principal. In fact, that's why the other day when you had Tobiko brought it very clearly saying that he is assistant to the president. He assists the president. And let me just give you a clear definition. When you are an assistant to somebody, You wait until this person gives you work. If he doesn't give you work, do you complain? Do you complain that I'm an assistant to this person and he has not given you me work? You keep quiet and wait to be ushered to be given work. So this is this kind of an entitlement, Miriam, will put this country in problem. And I thank God that it has come much clearer now that people are knowing who the deputy president is a vice president. And sometimes I wonder why we changed the constitution from vice president to deputy president. You know, there are a lot of nonsense things we did with our constitution. You are a deputy president and you think you are somebody who is big. You are an assistant to the president, assist him, tell your supporters 2022 will come, and Miriam, I'm a politician, Karanja is a politician, and others will be there, and we will go for that seat. And the Kenyans will decide. And when they will decide, if he becomes the president, fine. But go and tell your supporters to be humble, to respect people, to serve people, those who are serving, to go to parliament and registrate. You know, sometimes, Miriam, when you are a member of parliament and I find you walking in the street and you are demonstrating, and you don't know what it has costed for us to bring that freedom of demonstration. People have suffered for Miriam for this constitution to give the Bill of Rights so that you can demonstrate. And then you can walk in the street and you are a member of parliament. Go to the floor of the House, either in the Senate, and don't shout the way we normally see the ranks of Mukomen. You don't. You persuade, you negotiate, you convince the other side, you debate, and at the end of the day, you will carry your day. And you will register and we will have better laws taking this country. So what I know, Miriam, and I have no doubt in my mind and I don't miss it, this is corruption fighting back. People have been getting tenders. People have been tenderpreneurs. They have not been supplying things. And now when they just see the outside, they see shadows. And Miriam, let me tell you, people think that they have taken the money for the people of Kenya and they can go to the church, you can dish them, you can think the delegation, you think you are the one who has been present. What I know, Miriam, the road does not forget. People will lose their properties. Let me tell you. How many governors already have been charged? You have seen the one for Garissa, you have seen the one for Migori, and others are on the queue. So those who work with the government and they supplied air, nothing to the government, and they were paid. Miriam, this is the kind of bitterness, because their man is no longer supporting them. That's why the people are becoming very bitter and they think now, oh, we are this government, we form. You didn't form any government. That's what you should know. You did not form any government. President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had a sizable majority. You only came to top up. And he has not antagonized. Work with him. Let us have an engagement, as I always say. Let us have a discussion. And I've said even and again, and Dr. Masanga will agree with me, Miriam, conflict will always be there. The worst disaster is when we allow this conflict to escalate into a level where we cannot settle them. And I know the president is a good man. You can remember the rights of Papa Wino, Gladys Wanga, Mary Odhiambo. They gave all the insult to the president, and this day they are working. So let them just take this an opportunity. You can go back to the president and say, oh, Unye, Paul Sana. This one, we went out of the way, let us serve the country. Well, what we want to do is to have a peaceful country. Right. I know how I wish, Miriam, you see, when Dr. Masanga is demonstrating and is giving you, Miriam, people don't know what chaos can do. And even where we are going this one, the next topic we are going to discuss, we will not have an opportunity to engage and discuss like this. Everybody will go the other way around. So, Miriam, the question of peace is the will of all Kenyans. And anything which we do, let it not be a thing which makes the vulnerable Kenyans suffer, women. Even this idea of taking women, youth, you take 200 of them, 2,000 of them, you take that 30 women group, you go and give them 2 million. They divide among themselves. Someone comes with 300 or 200, and you are talking about you are empowering. People they must be shameful of themselves. What we need totally to empower Kenyans, and that's why we want to do it through BBI, so that Miriam, we can have shared prosperities. Kenyan can be able to work anywhere and stay anywhere. People should not kill each other because so and so has not become. An election should be just an event. We go, we compete, the best let him just win. We say that we can support you for 5 years. Let the people emulate what the president, the deputy, the prime minister has done. He said Kenya is bigger than all of us. Let us unite the country, Miriam. So that kind of entitlement, people should forget. Everyone has got this position. When 2022 will come, all positions will be vacant. And the Kenyans will just pick which one. Do you want presidents? Do you want governor? Do you want senator? Do you want member of parliament, MCA? And they will go for it, and that's what it was going to be. So this entitlement, let it sink, and I'm repeating, the president is the CEO of the Republic of Kenya. He is the chief of commander of Kenya Defense Forces. He is the head of state and the head of government. And the people below him, starting from the deputy president up to where we are, we just assist him.
All right, very well there, Professor. Even as we conclude this topic on Kenya, before we tie it with the rest of these countries, we look at Africa and the political violence that we see. That will be the topic that trigger. Is it triggered by elections or long stay in office across Africa? But we've seen some sense of, Karanja, this political sort of, violence and the threats and intimidation that we've been seeing here in the country. You would think that we learned something from the mayhem and the chaos that we found ourselves in 2007, 2008, post-election violence there, but it appears maybe that was not a lesson enough for some of our political leaders there. Even as we look at 2022 political matrix, is it possible moving forward, even as our politicians engage and our leaders engage in, drumming, looking for support and all that, that our politics can be devoid of violence? And I saw our religious leaders there. I think we castigated them here earlier on Monday, on Friday. We've been questioning. We've been raising a few questions, and we saw them gather somewhere. The Pentecostal leaders, church leaders, there, and now they're talking about would like to we can mediate between the president and his deputy and other political players, and we can bring them to the table. We already know that they lost that moral standing, so I don't know if they were sincere in that, but they came out and they spoke about it. But can we have a politics that is clean and is devoid of violence and threats and intimidation, and using our young people especially to go to advance this personal things that they want, they can't do themselves? Because we see even in the cases, the young people, we've been used a lot by these politicians for their own selfish, gains there. So maybe we should start some education there to our young people. What do you think as a young person there from where you are, Karanja?
Thank you very much, Miriam. What I would like to say is this: it's possible to have a country where we'll have sober and modified and kind of dignified politics, only if some politicians will hold their horses and wait at the right time. When President Uhuru Kenyatta and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga shook hands, they shook hands for the sake of our country. They shook hands for the sake of unity as a nation. They shook hands because we came from a very polarized election. And when they joined hands, the country settled very well. If it was not for these people who started fighting it, this country we should having a prosperity. And I like telling people that, President Uhuru Kenyatta, they asked that, why didn't he carry along with the deputy president, or why did the former prime minister carry along with the 4 principles of NASA then? And that was a meeting of big political players, politicians who carries others in their boat. For example, the deputy president was carried by the president, President Uhuru Kenyatta, meaning when president went there, he represented the people who voted for him, and he represented those people who support the deputy president, bearing in mind they supported to build government. Therefore, they should have just they should have supported it. And if they did that, this country would be moving in the right direction. If the other principles, the lives of Kalonzo Musyoka, the Msalias of this country, they knew very well that President Uhuru Kenyatta, the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, was a representative. He represented them in that handshake. Therefore, if these people told their lines and they worked for this country, especially the Jubilee government and that side that support the deputy president, they have a responsibility, they have a duty to serve this country. They were elected, they won the election. I don't know why they tense. You know, these raw ambitions that you feel like you are inheriting something from the president. You know, even in our African context, you don't inherit when your dad is still alive unless he gives you, unless he divides to you. And that is what Professor was saying. You don't get, we have a sitting president. They should relax and wait. Therefore, it's possible to have a politics that are modified, dignified, and politics that are not of insult. Only if politicians will place the interest of this country before their personal interest. I know it's impossible in politics, but if they do that, especially those who are elected, those who are in opposition, we can,
Yeah.
All right.
You made your point. You made your point. Karanja has raised very serious points here.
Absolutely.
Miriam,
Yes.
very cardinal points. Thank you very much, Karanja. You have summarized some of the things that, until we have hygiene, what Karanja is trying to say is hygiene. We lack the hygiene in politics. We don't have hygiene. There's no hygienic politics in Africa. It's Africa of a man whom you helped yesterday who comes to kill you. Did you know that? It is not the man who is very far who kills you. It's the man you helped yesterday. Would you think that Sanga would insult me? Surely? Miriam, surely, with all what I did from my pocket, I just listened and I did not want. You see, usually I'm very, I could have answered with so many bad words by writing them. I kept quiet. I just said, thank you, God help you. But I'm planning 2 good hours session on that man. He will grow out of his screen.
All right,
but that is not a problem. Let's continue with our program. I understand Hassan Harie is declared interest to stand as the president of Somalia.
Yes.
I will bring a topic on Monday tomorrow. I would like to invite him, Hassan, invite him to travel to London.
Yes.
Anytime now.
Yes. And he's bringing in very interesting point here. He's saying, Doctor, your friend Harry, I think he's just trying to pull your leg, just declared his interest to vie for the Somali presidency. Seems the oil cartels have regrouped. The oil cartels are, very, very pertinent question there.
Very pertinent. We shall discuss that.
Thank you.
In Hassan, he did not want to enter this controversy. He kept off.
Yes.
But Miriam, all in all, we don't have time to discuss the other topics. Let's concentrate. There are so many good topics inside here, especially if you look at the Sunday Nation. That topic, the topic we are going to discuss of why the leaders stay longer. We can, if Professor can agree, we want to discuss it on Wednesday with PLO has just sent me a message. He wants to be on the panel. Said there's conflict everywhere in Africa because leaders, all those who left have come back, they want this thing. Yeah. So PLO says we arrange it on Wednesday, sorry. We can have it under diplomatic leaks 2 good hours, and he will invite some other people, and we invite ourselves. We can sort it out. I don't know how you think about that. We can complete
yes,
one or two stories. I have seen my 2 stories inside here.
All right.
Of Mr. Nelson Harvey.
Okay, which is the page, please help.
And yes, Mr. Nelson Harvey is in chaos.
What page is that, Doctor?
The Daily Nation, page 9.
Okay.
I think a vote of confidence is about. Harvey Wade's turbulent, outspoken president fights a barrage of accusations, including women doing things unilaterally, like and even aligning himself to Ruto's camp. All these accusations are labeled at him. You saw this week a picture on Facebook with a very yellow lady, and you saw it. There was a very good picture of Harvey and a yellow man. I don't know whether Stephen has it. And the lady went berserk, said the hotel bills were not paid. Some of the things are personal. We don't want to go into that. But let's stick to serious things. He makes decisions without consulting the Law Society Council. He takes on government. For example, he has gone to accuse the government without having a quorum at all. Another thing that he has been accused of is the LSK president wrote that each such corruption cases were being pursued to settle political scores. You are surely, look, you are president of the LSK. Can you write such a statement? When LSK is for the people, it stands on behalf of the citizens. But when you are siding with the one side of the government by saying cases are political, that's why his friends want him out. Some have accused Harvey of playing politics. Harvey has gone straight to court without consulting the LSK to accuse the president that he wants to impeach the president of failing to appoint 41 judges. These are decisions that can be taken by the entire body governing council of LSK. So I don't know whether you have any comments. That is my good story on Mr. Harvey. He's acting on behalf of, you see, now anytime, like now Sudi case, he will be there tomorrow. So how do you have a chairman of the LSK taking on such cases? Some of them are not cases he should align himself. Then the worst part is that he can take them on in court, but he shouldn't come out to address the nation. We now lose the nation loses confidence.
It's a contradicting there, and also, yeah, one of Sudi's, I think, lawyers is Madame Boss Shulei, the women representative in Uasin Gishu there. So that story is on page 9 of the Daily Nation. And somewhere there says Mr. Harvey has also called for impeachment of president for failing to appoint the 41 judges picked by the Judicial Service Commission, while president's short-circuiting of the process has little support within legal circles. The decision on impeachment was never agreed upon by LSK leadership, or sources say. So Harvey apparently wanted to start a process to impeach President Uhuru Kenyatta over his failure to appoint the 41 judges. And I says, some members that LSK were not in agreement with that. And down here, it says that many in the political class have chosen to label Nelson Harvey as a Tanga operative because of the LSK's decision to stand firm in support of the rule of law, something like that. But yeah, it's very interesting there. And I think we talked about that, Mr. Harvey, the LSK chairperson there who wanted to start a process to impeach President Kenyatta over his failure to appoint the 41 judges, but the LSK membership there did not agree with that decision, so that could not happen. Quite interesting there.
Miriam, let me just have this to comment over Avi. And now my fears are confirmed now. Why don't you want to work as a team, Miriam? The fact that you are the chair, let me just call him the chairperson instead of this president of the Royal Society of Kenya. Your work is to chair meetings. The members of the council deliberate and then you agree on a resolution. You see in this, Miriam. Being the president of the Royal Society of Kenya is such an important seat. Now you want the president to be impeached, Miriam, because he has refused to appoint some of the corrupt churches. Who is now supposed to protect us now?
You see, but Harvey, you are boss. Before you go ahead, let me give you one thing. Harvey is not a Kenyan. Harvey is a Congolese. So why Kenyans you don't talk the truth, surely? This guy has no feelings for this country.
Yeah,
at least for me, I have feelings for this country. And I've never tried to buy an identity card.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to say...
I've never tried. You think if I wanted an identity card in Kenya, I would not get it?
You would have gotten.
I would have married Miriam or Miriam's sister or somebody else. Sorry. I can come and so Miriam is married, I will tell her to bring me a sister. And I say, please, for me, help me. I want an ID. The law allows me to marry a Kenyan lady. And once I have the Kenyan lady in my custody, I have the ID, not Miriam. But Miriam's sister is available. If it's available, I'm Mugabe married. I know that I will be knocked out on age. But Mugabe married.
Doctor, let's just come back and see some of these things that Nelson Harvey has been accused of.
My guess. In the fact, it's for his interest.
I'm sorry today, Miriam. You know what? These figures are not in this. I think let's just conclude.
Just get some tea.
Harvey is not a Kenyan. Harvey has never told people that the mom carried him up to here. So he's doing things not as a Kenyan. He doesn't care. Even if the country collapses, he's not bothered. Look at the history of Kapsaret MP. Where is he? Let them look for the ID properly. We are just keeping quiet. These people are from Bukwa in Kapchorwa. Well, so this Harvey is just, he's a mercenary from DRC Congo. The way he behaves, can't you see? Are there Kenyans who look like that with hair like that? You're a chairman of LSK with hair, burning hair like what? Why don't you just cut and look like a Mutua? Look at Orengo. Look at all those men who used to be chairman of LSK. Huyu anaonekana sijui anatoka wapi. Guitar. He likes his guitar. Congolese know don't the guitar. Thank you very much.
Professor, conclude your thoughts there.
The point I was saying, the fact that is the chairman or the president of the prestigious society like Royal Society of Kenya, it is for his interest and the interest of the organization that we have got credible churches. But I said my fear has been confirmed, and the fact that now you are the chairperson of the Royal Society of Kenya, I have been seeing him just going to the Waititus, the Mandukus, and you can see that this one. There are some of the things, even if the lawyer, it is your duty to defend anybody else. But there are some cases by the office which you have taken.
Yes.
You said now for the time being, My people in the office can handle it, but not me to come to the limelight. The limelight. So Miriam,
and Professor, those are questions that are being asked here. Let me just read a part of this. It says, in the communication, Mr. Harvey also declared conflict of interest as he represented Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, who has been charged with corruption. The decision by the courts to block such officials from office has often been unsuccessfully challenged. So he was also going to represent Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, who has been accused of corruption. So the conflict of interest there, just by the virtue of the office there that you're representing,
that is exactly what I'm trying to say. That's why I said that my fear now is confirmed of what type of person Harvey is. I saw him representing Harvey, representing Waititu, Songo, Manduku, the CEO for Kenya Ports Authority. So Miriam, this is a man who is working as a lone ranger. And by the fact that he is working for the Road Stars of Kenya, he should look for teamwork and consensus among the council members for any of the resolutions to go forward. But now this one makes me vulnerable, and I'm not seeing him going to survive. And remember, Miriam, he comes on forward to tell us, oh, public participation has not been done. When he excludes some of his council members, how do you now allow them to be involved in some of the decisions you are making? And they are very key.
All right, Karanja, I see you've joined us again. So looking at these issues that Professor there has brought up, and also I think some of them have been explained on this piece of the Sunday Nation on page 9 here. Is it possible to say that LSK boss chairperson there, Nelson Harvey, is perhaps taking advantage of the office he holds right now for his own personal gains, looking at some of these cases that he has chosen to represent that might conflict of interest have arisen, owing to the office he sits right now? Is it possible that he's taking advantage of this for his own personal gain?
Yeah, definitely, Miriam. Why don't you involve others? And even you have even said, in fact, Miriam, now see, when you are going to impeach the president simply because he has refused to elect corrupt the judges, who is going to gain? There is a contradiction. Some of even the rulings which have been given barring the governors from attending going to the offices, he has challenged them. It means, Miriam, there's some of the gains is getting out of that. So what I'm trying to say that any future president for Royal Society of Kenya, by virtue for that office, there are some of the things which are no-go zone, which are not supposed to get yourself involved or bogged with. So in this, Miriam, Avi has failed, and the best he can do is to resign as the president of the Road Stars of Kenya and continue doing his own work. You can't have both at the same time. You can't serve two masters at a go.
Karanja, as we conclude, and Doctor will conclude for us.
Karanja is not there?
Okay, we seem to be having a bit of a problem.
Karanja is not there, Miriam.
All right, Doctor, conclude for us.
Let me conclude.
Please, thank you.
A tree that is, let me start properly because Miriam is laughing at me. Today, it shows you how I am very happy to be in your company. You are Miriam, it's
go ahead, a tree, and then what happens?
I mean, I am Mom, I'm just trying to be honest.
Yes.
It is not enough to shout, my Lord, my Lord. I think the pastor will tell you. It is not enough. a tree that will produce oranges. You can see it. You can judge the tree whether it will produce mangoes or oranges. In Kenya now, we can judge people whether the 2022 matrix will be good or bad. We can see the tree that will produce us lemon instead of oranges. So it is up to Kenyans to see what they vote for. Don't vote for a tree thinking it is an orange tree, yet it is going to produce you mangoes that are very sour, which is lemon. It is an African saying very properly, and it is ingrained in a parable in the books, the Holy Book.
We shall know them by their fruits. Yes, it's there.
Exactly. We shall know them by their fruits. A man is showing you today that he can imprison you without a trial. Then you want to give him power tomorrow. Another valid point that I've made today is this, which we have made. East or west, tuambiane ukweli. Kenya cannot have, if you know you are in the tribe that has led Kenya before, don't aim for the presidency. Because the matrix, tuambiane ukweli, ijuani. Tuambiane. If you are in these two tribes, the Kikuyu have had 3 presidents. Kalenjin 1.
For 24 years.
Who did 2.5 terms. It is very difficult for 2022 for anybody to vote anyone for president unless you want to take this country into a different situation. I've just said that calmly, as a political scientist, not as a tribalist, but as a political, you can compete for any other post. But presidency, try Somali, try Luo, try Raila. That's why I'm hinting it. That's why Mudavadi has seen where, in case Baba says let's look for an independent candidate. Okay, sasa hapo uko kwa side mzuri, and Uhuru Kenyatta and Baba can agree to say, for us, we have gone, but here is the money we want. You can't beat that guy. Huyo mtu atakuwa seconded by those two. You can't beat them. Oh, now President Uhuru Kenyatta is going home. Raila Amolo has a chance. Even for 5 years, let's give him. Miaka 5, I don't want to tell a lie. Tena Checho Museme Matanga changed yesterday. I've changed already. Mimi nishageuka kutoka handshake. Wacha watu wajue leo. If you want to kill me, kill me. Mimi niko kwa pale where the president says we go with our handshake, we go. Hata kama naona tuseme tuingie at the river, we test the crocodile mouth, it can go and come out. Because crocodile, you know the crocodile does not see. It doesn't have eyes. It has eyes, but the eyes, did you know that, Mr. Professor? The eyes of the crocodile only see when it is in water. Did you know that, Miriam? But when it is on land, when you go and think you are walking on a stone, is when it it only feels that something is attacking it. The sensors of the crocodile are that skin. Not the eyes. The eyes see kwa maji ndio naona it does not go near. There is no animal in water that can swallow a crocodile. Zinaonana. I want to thank you very much today that we were meant to discuss some Africa, but Miriam shelved that topic.
Wednesday.
No, Wednesday, Professor Piero Lumumba is interested in it. We didn't know that he was following behind. There are some people who don't show that they are watching. He was watching us. He's very happy with the topic that even some people in Ivory Coast have come back. Another person somewhere has also come back. Another one, all presidents, even Tanzania himself, the guy is locking up all these guys. He has locked up even that guy whom he shot. His plane cannot fly to do. Who cast Africa? So,
media houses have been warned about covering, opposition activities there in Tanzania. So we have a lot to talk about on Wednesday there. Doctor, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I want to apologize.
It's okay.
That my emotions today ran so high, Prof. Because I felt someone whom you have helped abuses you. Then why did it has pained me, but now it is over.
Thank you.
Very over. You know I'm a conflict resolution. I can't carry conflict. And I think as if he has just heard what I was saying, he has just sent a message to say, I apologize for that abuse, but kindly the truth, stick to the truth and don't be biased.
That's fair.
So that's okay. He has heard. Because anajua, you know it. Hata media hata unaangalia kwa macho huyo mzuri hiyo, you know it. Unajua the boss here is not.
If you can build a house, you can as well as bring down because you are the one who built it.
Yeah, you know the guy was terminated. The thing was that switch off fast, finish.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Professor. And our correspondent from Nanyuki, Javen Karanja, there, he had a bit of a technical hitch, but he shall join us tomorrow for another edition of other shows that we shall have from, I think, 10 a.m. there. So thank you so much for your time. Let's meet here tomorrow. My name is Miriam Gutu. A very good afternoon to you.